Since 2003, Total Air has been keeping Tampa Bay area homes cool with friendly service, skilled male and female techs, and easy online booking. Perfect for your hot Florida days.
Good to go?
Good to go.
Total Air, cool responsibly.
When your power goes out, remember just how inconvenient your life can be. No lights, no refrigeration, no heating or cooling, no electronics. But with a Generac home standby generator, you'll have power when you need it. Our Generac generators automatically provide backup power after sensing a power outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Get a free 10-year warranty with the purchase of any air-cooled generator. Call Generac Generators today. Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power.
Streaming from the Tampa Bay 28 Weather Center in Studio A, this is Dennis Phillips Live. Sponsored by Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power. And Total Air.
How you doing, everybody? It is a Wednesday night edition of Dennis Phillips Live. Thank you very much for joining us. We are live on the spot. You know, it's interesting because we're live. Well, let's see. We're live on Instagram. We're live on TikTok. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. The only place that I have not decided to go live on is X, because they want to charge me $10 a month. I have to have a premium account to be able to do it, and I'm not doing it. so I'm not paying the $10 a month to go live on X. So you're going to have to watch me either on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, or on the spot as well, which we love having you on the spot. By the way, so you may have heard Tampa Bay Lightning tickets, single game tickets, and tickets for the upcoming regular season are going on sale very, very soon. And of course, if you're watching on the spot, you probably know that we are the official broadcast partner of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and you can see the games on the spot. So we've got me Monday through Thursday, the WNBA on Friday, and then I'm actually 5 days a week for most of September. And then once the Bolts start, I believe their home opener is against the Washington Capitals coming up in early October. So most of the games, not all, but most of them are live on the spot, so you can watch it there. So we got a lot to talk about today. All of a sudden, we have a tropical storm. We have a yellow and an orange, an orange and a red blob. And we've got our friend Thomas Mance from Feeding Tampa Bay, who's going to be on coming up in a couple of minutes as well, to talk about our Pack the Pantries. It's not a promotion. It's a what? Program. Yeah, and that's going to be coming up in a couple of minutes. So you know what I love? So I'm looking at here, and I see y'all. So if you're watching on TV, love it. Appreciate your loyalty. Ratings have been good. People are watching. All's good. But I love where some people are watching on TV and at the same time they're following along on Facebook. And when they see each other, it's always like, oh boy. Okay. So here we go. I know that author Natalie Kennedy, you are rage baiting me. All right. There's a history here. 2 days ago, we had a guy named Omar. Don't know who Omar was, but Omar's like, yeah, get to the weather. And I'm like, nope. Sorry, we do it at our own pace here. We talk to each other, we interact. We know that eventually we will get to the weather. But if you are just here for just weather information, you are in the wrong spot. Matter of fact, hold on. I forgot my band button. So wait a minute. Let me go back into my file cabinet behind the studio and get my band button. I could tell Thomas just to step in, but that's okay. All right, here we go. We got the band button. I'm not saying that I will need it, but it's here just in case, all right? Cannot forget the band button up late. So anyway, that was Omar. And then yesterday, see, my kids, I think my kids may be opening up fake Facebook accounts just to rage bait me, because it is a thing we do within the family. We simply do. And so the author here says, weather, please, or get to weather. We'll get to weather. And if you are new to the show, and I say this because, look, during hurricane season, we got lots to talk about. The other 8 or 9 months of the year, we have interesting guests. We have a lot of community news. You know me, I'm big into community involvement, so we try to feature local businesses and local stories and whatnot. And we eventually get to weather. And we will right now as well, because we do have some stuff to talk about. But you guys are still talking about Omar. But yeah, so at the end of the day, let's jump in, all right? But before we get into the weather per se, we're going to talk about a weather event. And this is kind of cool. So the Perseid Meteor Shower is tonight. Ryan's like, uh-oh, somebody done messed up already. Yeah, apparently so. I'm going to have to scroll back and see who it was. Author somebody. I don't know. Anyway, all right. And it might just be my son, Josh. I'm going to mess with my dad. Let's just open up an account. All right. Anyway, Perseid Meteor Showers tonight. Now, what is that? All right, it's a yearly thing. There's lots of meteor showers that come every year. The Perseid is usually one of the biggest ones, along with the Geminid. And it happens every August, right? Now, this year we are fortunate because there is a new moon. And a new moon means it's a dark moon and you don't see any of the light. The more light in the sky, the less likely you're going to see a shooting star, right? But if it's darker, you have a better chance. And because we have a new moon, visibility will be better for these meteors. And tonight after midnight, maybe after 11 o'clock, you'll be able to see between 30 and 50 meteors per hour. Now, look, I have gone out over the years. I like to go to Honeymoon Island over in Dunedin because it's really dark out there, away from the light of the city. And I'll sit back there and you can see some shooting stars. But if you expect it to be like zoom, 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 it isn't. You have to be patient. Patience is a virtue to get to the weather on our show, and patience is a virtue in watching meteor showers. So if you are an astronomy fan, or if you want to check it out, tonight is a good night to do so. I do think the weather is going to cooperate, all right? So let's go ahead and look at temperatures, because there's a look at the radar, and while there is some rain off to our north, most of that is going to fizzle out before it actually makes it down to the area. Yeah, Mark, the Rays are on a 9-game winning streak. They just had 3 straight sweeps on the road. And I don't care who you're playing. I mean, I don't care if you're playing the Rockies and the Mariners or the A's or not. They're still major league teams. And to win 9 straight games on the road is unbelievable. So the Rays are off tomorrow. They're coming back on Friday, and they're at home against the Orioles. And they're opening up the 300 levels for this weekend. So it is an exciting time to be a Rays fan. Look, I'm clearly a Bolts fan, but I'm a massive Rays fan as well. So you know what? Playoffs, here we come, it looks like. Let's not jinx it, but that's what it looks like. All right, so anyway, there's a look at the rain out there. Unfortunately, not a lot of rain. Look, the temperatures are the big weather story. They have been of late. They will be again right through the weekend. I mean, guys, it's August. We expect it. We expect it to be hot. So there's nothing unusual about seeing highs in the low to mid 90s. Matter of fact, there's really nothing unusual about seeing feels like temperatures around 100 either. But when it goes to 105 or greater, then all of a sudden it's hot enough that the Weather Service will issue a heat advisory. And that's what we've had the last few days, and we'll probably see it tomorrow. We're right on the fringe. Peggy, where should you look? The answer would be up. You know, I say that not trying to, Thomas over laughing, maybe laugh. I say that not trying to be a Weisenheimer at all. Yes, if you want to look in the general direction of Perseus, the north-northeast, feel free. But my experience is you just look up and you'll see them. And you'll kind of see them peripherally on the side, on the side. But I say that in all sincerity. Look up and you're going to see it. And you will see them tonight. They will be out there. All right, there's a look outside. Let's quickly get through the forecast. We kind of gave it up. There it is, 89 degrees, partly sunny. The dew point in the low 70s feels like 96. The high today hit 93. That's 2 degrees above average. The morning low also 2 degrees above average. So there's the radar. There's the satellite. There's a little bit of rain up around Gainesville way and up toward the Panhandle. That's a little area of rain that will fizzle out once we hit sunset, and you see the models kind of showing that as well. So overnight, skies should be partly cloudy to clear. Tomorrow morning, it will be dry. It will be sunny. and it will be rain-free, and it will be warm, upper 70s. Few isolated showers tomorrow, unfortunately, not nearly enough. By the way, Art, do you know why the dog days of summer are called the dog days of summer? Do you know where that descriptor came from? If you don't, I will tell you. Canis Major, the dog star, is visible in the summertime. It's one of the most visible things in the sky in the summer, and thus the dog days of summer come from the dog star. And there you go. Just a little bit of useless trivia. Either way, overnight tonight, overnight the next several nights, there's just not going to be a lot of rain. They're just not. So highs in the middle 90s, morning lows in the upper 70s, and there's a look at the rainfall forecast. The best chances will be on Friday north of I-4, closer to that trough. Even into Saturday, a few showers around. Saturday, I take my son up to Gainesville. My freshman, my fifth of 6th, starting his freshman year at UF. Mom is devastated. You know what, you guys understand. If you have kids who've gone to college, you know exactly what I'm feeling. You're so happy for them, you're so proud of them, but at the same time, you are so devastated because they're not your babies anymore. They're gonna be going. So yeah, Jake will be up in Gainesville starting on Saturday. These rooms are not like what dorm rooms used to be. Let me tell you, they are decked out unbelievable. I'm going on Instagram and I see all these amazing looking rooms and I'm like, I had nothing. I mean, you know, yeah, fridges and microwaves, the whole 9 yards. So anyway, of course, we had to do that. So it's going to take us at least 6 hours to get the room prepared once we get up there. But it's going to be fun. Anyway, there's the look at the tropics. We have a couple areas. I'm going to take this full, and then we're going to hit the break real quick because I'm already running heavy. Shocker. So when we look at, we do have a tropical storm. That's the one way up north, Cristobal, which is ridiculous that the Weather Service named that. I mean, it's rain with a name. That's really all it is. There's nothing to it. But they decided to name it anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. Is this the new one? No, this is still the 4 o'clock update. So this is from the Hurricane Center right here. You see Cristobal right there. Winds of 40 miles an hour. You got the area in red. You got the area in orange. All right? If you were to look at these 9 times out of 10 in the middle of August, you'll be like, oh, man, we're in trouble. Look at where they're located. It's August. The water's super warm. Rule number 7, we are going to start freaking out. And usually I understand that mentality. But I'm telling you, El Nino is a great equalizer this year. Look, we're not going to remain unscathed. There will be storms that are going to end up coming close to Florida. There just will be. We all know it at some point in time. But it ain't going to be these two. Bottom line is the one in red may very well turn into a tropical storm. The one in orange may as well. But when you look at the spaghetti models, there's one recurring theme here, and that would be dry air and shear. And there it is. So look at the one in red, and look what the Euro does. Here's the Euro ensemble. The gray color means it's weak. Keeps it right down there. And then look what happens after the islands. Nothing. Completely gone. Because it runs into shear and drier air spawned by El Nino. So just nothing to worry about. The other one, might it get a little stronger and go north? Possibly, but if it does, it's going to curve. So I'm not so ridiculous that I'm going to sit here and say, okay, nothing to worry about. They're absolutely positively not going to bother us. I'm not that crazy, but I'm close to it. I would be flabbergasted if either of these pose any threat to the continental U.S. Now, the islands we will watch because there's a chance that one on the south could get a little stronger, impact the islands possibly, and I'm talking about not necessarily Puerto Rico or the Virgin Islands, but ones more to the east. But overall, the ingredients just aren't there for significant development. It's that simple. We're going to talk more about that after we're off on the spot. I can answer your questions. We're going to hit a break. I'll be back with Thomas Hans from Feeding Tampa Bay on DPL. Okay. You never know what direction it's going to go. All it takes is one person to say, get to weather, and then and it's my son probably, because he knows that I just, that's not this show. We don't just get to weather. Here, I'll hold the chair because it jumps on it. You know that. You're an old seasoned pro with this show, all right? Gotcha. Coming forward. Everybody, Thomas Mann, CEO of Feeding Tampa Bay.
Nice to see everybody. Nice to be here, always.
Your close-ups on 2, as always. Derek, you want to check the close-up? Is he good where he is? Yep, you're good. 2-shot on there, over there. Every day I get farther and farther, harder for me to see the countdown. That's our countdown.
16 seconds.
I do not. 44, the one on the right.
Oh.
The one on the left is the one on the left. The 16 seconds. Well, there's the spots. So that spot will run for another 5 seconds, and then it goes to the next spot, next commercial, and then that's our countdown. See,
Gotcha.
there,
All right.
there goes sunrise.
You got 30 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, and that's you guys.
Hey, that's us. You guys were out doing
Hey.
Pack the Pantries. It was a great event. One more time, we really enjoyed it. Had some great stories that we were able to tell.
I love
Wendy
that.
anchored from the facility one night. It was just terrific.
All right, so when we come out of the break, that's what we're going to go over. So, Denise, welcome back, Thomas. And City of Winter Haven. Hi, Thomas. By the way, the City of Winter Haven, I'm a big, are we? Oh, we're back. Okay. So we're just talking with the folks on here. The City of Winter Haven is one of the folks that follows us on our thread. And a funny story. By the way, everybody watching on the spot, Thomas Mann, CEO, Feeding Tampa Bay. You've been on this show several times.
I have.
And it's
Always a pleasure.
well, great to have you. We go on so many tangents. We've talked about your love of Bruce Springsteen one time,
Yes.
Springsteen music.
Yes.
We talk about lots of other stuff, but
I thought we'd talk about Omar.
So a couple of days ago, my wife actually, I banned Omar for 15 minutes on here because Omar came on and he was talking about get to weather. I don't roll that way, but I even said, she's like, you were a little hard on Omar. I'm like, you know what? Don't be messing with us.
See ya, Omar.
Exactly. Well, so a couple months ago, somebody got into my stash of Milky Way bars back behind there and started swiping my Milky Way bars. And I went on DPL and I was talking a lot about it. I'm like, look, we have a thief amongst us, and it was ticking me off. Well, the City of Winter Haven went on Instacart, bought me Milky Way bars, and had them delivered during DPL.
Man, oh man.
See, that is the loyalty our viewers have. And you have some very, very loyal folks as well.
We do.
And matter of fact, we were just talking about this in the break. So the commercial that just ran prior to this is about our Packing the Pantries event with you. So tell the folks a little bit about how they can get involved and what that need is.
Yeah, every year you all are so great. You give us probably the better part of 3 or 4 weeks of on-air coverage, asking loyal viewers, listeners to get involved with packing pantries for families, right? As folks come back to school, it's really challenging to balance all the expenses that a family has. Book bags with sneakers, you know this times 6.
Yeah.
Right, and so there's a lot of families that really struggle. And the program that we run with you this year, we packed the pantries, which was fabulous. We also did Pack the Pantries Plus. We did school supplies as well. And so our job, our end of the bargain, is to make sure we get all those things in and get them out. What you all do so well is you tell the story of our community. You know, we had Sean in, we had Wendy in, we had several of the other anchors doing stories about folks in our community. We did a great piece with the Hillsborough County school superintendent talking about many of the schools where we have pantries inside of them are now A-level schools.
Oh, wow.
Right.
That's
You think
awesome.
about how do you invest in education? Well, they're making sure they have good teachers teaching kids. We're making sure the family has food. So you guys just do such a wonderful job of helping us tell that story. We couldn't be more grateful for the partnership.
And also working with the chief of credit unions as well.
Yeah. Sponsor underwrites the whole thing that allows us to do that. A great partner. You know, I think one of the things we talk about every time we're together, Dennis, that I want to make sure that I say is the folks that we're taking care of are us. Their friends, their family, their coworkers, people that we know who are struggling just to make ends meet. I just came from a school, high school out in Brandon where Congresswoman Castro was having a listening session with families that are struggling. And the stories that they were telling, there's a mom that told a story that she's working 3 jobs. She works at the school. She's a teacher. 4 nights a week, she's at David Buster's bussing tables. And then on the weekend, she's delivering packages for one of the national providers.
Wow.
She's got 2 kids at home.
Yeah.
You listen to a story like that and you think, my goodness, could I bear up to that? And that's what Pack the Pantries is about, is making sure that folks like that have resources.
And how can folks at home take part and help out?
Sure, always. First thing is you can give the gift of your time. If you're willing to and can come out and volunteer with us, we can use that. The second thing is all of what we do is charitably funded. People often ask me, do you get money from the government? We do not. Everything that we raise comes from a generous community member. So if you're able to and want to support our work financially, we would love to have that support. And then the other thing that I think is so great about DPL Live, about your TV station, is also tell the story. Right? Tell someone else what you heard. Maybe someone else either needs help or wants to get involved. You know this because this is your living. The power of words, the power of story is incredible.
And you know, we've talked about this many, many times in the past. There are so many times in one's life where it's the unexpected that happens, and one of which was the hurricanes a couple of years ago. And people who never thought that they would need the help needed the help.
Yeah, and you know, as you were talking about the storms, and boy, we're sure glad they're going to go elsewhere. But when we hear that, we have to start getting ready to gear up, because in those instances, families often don't have enough ability to navigate. You and I will go to a local grocery store and stock up on all the essentials that you have on your website to say that you need. The families we serve don't have the ability to do that, so they come to us. We make sure they can stock up. We get prepared during the storm, and then right after the storm, we're there making sure they have the resources that they need. But all of us are a lot closer to trouble and difficulty than we might imagine.
Mary just said the power of story, the power of words, and preach. And again, I think that's, nowadays, sometimes that can get lost in the shuffle, and it's important to remind folks.
Yeah, and I think one of the nice things about this show, and you're joking about Omar and your way in which you go about it, but I think one of the things that this does, and one of the things that you do, is you're having a conversation. Right? You're getting together with friends and you're talking about life. And one of the things we love about the partnership with you and with the station is, again, as I said, we are telling the stories of us.
Yep. Tell you what, back in 90 seconds, we're going to continue to talk how you can help out the folks at Feeding Tampa Bay as DPL continues.
Do I need to watch the clock?
It's right there. And went to break. All right. So we have a minute and a half. All right. There's still the spots that we've been running. There's still places that people can drop stuff off.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah,
you know, for anybody
that
and so for anybody that's still on the live feed, we always need resources. Hunger and food insecurity and economic challenges are a year-round problem.
So we leave for Tortola tomorrow, monitoring. So, yeah, that's a good question. And I will tell you that in the islands, the Leeward or the Windward Islands, there is still a chance there could be tropical storm force winds before this thing fizzles out. So, yeah, when I'm talking, and if you heard me, I was very clear. I said the continental United States will not be impacted directly by this, but the islands still could be. Not tremendously concerned, but it's one that I would still keep an eye on, and we will be back tomorrow to give you an update on that as well. So for folks traveling in the Windwards or the Leewards, I do think there is something that still needs to be watched.
20 seconds.
20 seconds, all right, good. So we only have about a 3-minute time frame on this one. So let's talk about how folks can still drop off for the event. And the event runs until?
Actually, we're technically through the window that you all run the event, but they can always support us.
Okay.
Always. You were just on vacation, I think we were doing the last week.
Got it.
Right, I think you're on a cruise.
I was, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, back to DPL right now, and we were talking about how, I guess the station's relationship, well, we've worked with you guys for all the time, but this particular event is winding down. Yeah,
but I think the question you asked me, which is important, is one of the things we hear this question a lot in the fall, right? Thanksgiving and Christmas, people tend to say, well, are folks hungrier this time of year? And we remind them, no. People are hungry and need resources all year long. Again, going back to what I just heard from one of the teachers at this school, she said, I didn't get paid over the summer, I'm just now getting a paycheck. Right? People struggle all year long, and so if you want to get involved, if you want to drop off food, if you want to participate, everything is feedingtampabay.org. You can find all the ways to connect there, and we would welcome it and so appreciate it.
And David asked a question. This is an interesting question. I think folks who aren't as familiar with the inner workings of Feeding Tampa Bay, I mean, do you focus just on our area, or do you also work on other areas as well?
We cover a 10-county area, so it's a pretty big footprint. The way to think about it in your mind is we go up as far as the villages. We go almost over to Disney at the end of Polk County, Manatee Highlands on the bottom, Pinellas, and then all the way up to the villages, as I said. It's a big footprint because one of the things about folks is we care less about county lines. We care more about where we can find resources, and because we're bigger, we can cover a lot more territory and provide a lot more support.
Perfect. And what are some of the other events coming up over the next few months? I mean, as we get into Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah,
obviously.
and so we'll start to, you'll see a lot more as we want to have discussions with the community about what we're doing. But there's a lot of great opportunities to volunteer. When you come to Feeding Tampa Bay, you might think, well, I'm going to pack and sort. You've done that before. You can also work in our grocery store, which we have on campus. You can work in our restaurant, which we have on campus. You can make meals in our kitchen. So there's a variety of different ways that people, can connect in with the mission all year long. And I think the thing about volunteering that we always notice is it reminds you a bit about who you are and what you are, right? You may come in hot from where you're coming from work or from life, and then you walk in the doors and in 10 or 15 minutes, you're in a whole different world, and you're having a much different thought about what matters. And one of the things we feel strongly about is we want to connect people back to that moment where they're like, oh, right? This is what matters to me. And so it's not only that you're helping us feed folks, but we hope we're also helping kind of feed the things in you that matter as well.
Well, y'all do amazing work. Again, as always, thanks for coming by. And their building is an amazing building and Cat 5 rated.
Yes, we're ready. So, if there's a storm, we're ready.
Exactly. Thanks, Thomas. Again,
nice
Feeding Tampa Bay, and the website one last time?
FeedingTampaBay.org.
There you go. Back in 90 seconds as DPL continues.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you.
As always.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys.
I really appreciate the time and the audience and the opportunity to say something.
No, it's great. Anytime. You know, you guys know who to reach out to.
I still want to do one of your weather forecasts from our roof.
Well, we got up there the one time.
But next time, so I think the issue is probably your poor camera guy.
How does he carry the camera up? Well, see, nowadays, they've got a camera that's literally the size of a cell phone.
But if you wanted to come and do that, particularly before a storm, if there's an opportunity, we'll make that happen.
I'm there.
Okay. I'll make sure I mention it to Shannon, but no, they're probably going to do what you want them to do?
Nah, I do what I'm told. Jocelyn, my producer, she's like...
Jocelyn, where are you? Make this happen.
It will happen.
All right.
All right, thanks, Thomas.
It's
Appreciate
great to see you.
Nice
Be
to see
well.
you too.
Congrats on being a granddad.
Thank you. All right, guys, we are back in 40 seconds. We are going to, I know he's great, right, guys? He really is. And literally the nicest guy you'll ever meet. I mean, he's just super, super nice guy. And the work that they do, the entire crew, the entire team at Feeding Tampa Bay is just unparalleled. I mean, we are so blessed to have them in our area and do the work that they do. All right, we are back in 15 seconds. I am going to give a quick update on the Tropics. The new numbers came out. All right, and I will give a 7-day as well. All right, back in 3, 2. Welcome back to Dennis Phillips Live. Again, thanks so much, Thomas Mance, Feeding Tampa Bay. We were just saying this during the break and on our stream. Nicest guy you'll ever meet. The entire team over there, so unbelievably helpful and caring and do great work for our community. We are blessed to have them here. All right, so I do want to quickly give an update. This came out from the Hurricane Center just a couple of minutes ago, the 8 o'clock advisory. And there it is. So you've got the area in red is at 80 and 80, so that has not changed, all right? Showers and thunderstorms, some signs of organization. Environmental conditions are forecast to be conducive for further development. The tropical depression will likely form. Upper level winds are likely to become too strong for development as the wave approaches the Lesser Antilles. I'll say that again. Shear is expected to be too strong for this to really turn into much of an issue for areas in the islands. And then the area in orange. Tropical wave located a couple hundred miles south of the Cape Verde Islands. They don't talk much about it other than development is possible. And that is a possibility as well. I mean, you look at the guidance on this. The area in red is right here, and that gray colors means a weak system, and then it just fizzles right there. So that's not a problem. The other one does have a few possible runs, couple of, maybe something could develop, but even still, if it does, it is expected to curve away from the United States. So heat advisory is certainly possible, again, for our area tomorrow. Even if there is no advisory, it feels like temperatures over 100, not a lot of rain. We'll continue to talk about the tropics on social media. If you're watching on the spot, thanks for stopping by. As always, have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow night on DPL. All right, we are out on streaming and out on TV. All right. Colleen, we leave. Yeah, I would not postpone, Colleen. I absolutely would not. All right, so here is my perspective on this stuff, and I'll show it to you again, all right? So Terry says it's $5 sushi day at Publix, so we watch you live while we enjoy our sushi. That's awesome. Ooh, sushi sounds good right now. I'm going to have microwave soup for dinner. But I like the microwave soup. All right, so you're talking about the Lesser Antilles. So here, let's look again. So you've got the area, and I'll go ahead and mark the spot here. So we're talking about this area right here, right? And look, there's a lot of agreement overall in the general path, right? I mean, a few of them do try to take it more north, and then that's the one that eventually curves away. But the one thing you see here is gray is weak, all right? So gray is weak. All of these particular members of this ensemble keep this weak. And then every one of them gone by here. Now, there are a few that get close to the island. And what are we talking about when it arrives? I would say at this point, minimal tropical storm. So I would never, well, that's not true. Actually, that's actually not true. There might be times where I would say, you want to cancel a vacation. With Melissa in Jamaica last year, that was one of them. So there might be times where I will say that. This is not one of those times. This is a situation where y'all have to make your own decision on this. I'm just telling you that I do not expect that this particular storm will cause a real issue for those islands. Might there be winds of 45 miles an hour? Maybe. Our afternoon thunderstorms go 55, all right? So if it were, you have to make your own decision. I'll say it again. If it were me, for me, I would not cancel for myself. But for you, you have to do what you feel safe doing. I think it's going to be a ragged system. I think it will run into a ton of shear, and I think it will be an area of some squally weather like we get in the summertime. So if you're coming from Florida, Colleen, and you're used to our afternoon thunderstorms, I wouldn't think twice. I would go ahead and go. If you're from Omaha or you're from Sioux Falls and the threat of thunderstorms and this sort of thing freaks you out, then that's on you. I mean, maybe you would want to reschedule. But here's my take. If you are making a reservation in the tropics in the middle of August, you would think you probably expect this is a possibility. And if you didn't, I'm not sure what you're thinking, because from mid-August to the end of September, that area gets storms. It just does. This particular one would probably be on the weaker side if it develops at all. All right? That's kind of my take on that. All right. So I guess that's about it. The city of Winter Haven always makes me laugh. Yeah, absolutely. I think is Mariah in Miami? I think you'll be fine. And Florida will absolutely be fine. Yeah. Is there a 0% chance that the unexpected could happen? Look, it's Florida. It's hurricane season. We all know Mother Nature can throw us a curve. However, right here at 8:02 on Wednesday night, I completely expect nothing, no impact whatsoever in Florida with either of these systems. Now, do I think something in September and October? Who knows? But these two particular ones, I do not believe there will be any impact whatsoever. All right? All right. You guys have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. I'm not sure who we have tomorrow night. I know we have a guest. But thanks again to Thomas Mans from Feeding Tampa Bay. Love the partnership we have with them. Here, I'll tell you what, I will show you the 7-day real quick because I haven't shown you as much about that. Here it is. And tomorrow, back up to 94. Rain chance is only about 20%, and most of that would be Friday, 30%. I do think the chance will be a little bit higher on Friday, 30 to 40%, especially north of I-4. Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 20%. And we're hoping by the middle of next week, maybe that happens. So David just said, Dennis, maybe somebody wants to get married on your show. You never know. Wait. David, are you saying that you want to get married on DPL? Does your fiance know that's the case if you're engaged? I have no idea, but that would be fun. I'm not going to give away something that happened in the newsroom a couple of days ago because I don't think it's my place to do so. But someone did ask me, would I be interested in, what's the word, like being the guy who says, I now pronounce you man and wife? What is it? Officiating. Thank you, Derek. That was God. Did you hear God? That's the voice of God. That was Derek. So someone in the newsroom actually asked me if they asked me to officiate their wedding, would I do so? Never done it, but heck yeah. And would that not be awesome to do that on DPL, no less? See, we are going into new territory that I never dreamed we would do. That would be pretty amazing. So anyway, David, you let me. Yeah, Allie's, Jules is like, yep, officiating. No, it was not Allie. It was not Allie, David. So anyway, Jules, thank you. Can I explain why it doesn't rain almost every afternoon like it used to in the summer? You know what, Laura? The reality of it is, I can't explain that. I'm going to be honest. Like, I know a lot of people who swear that they used to be able to set their watch to 4 o'clock afternoon thunderstorms. I do not have the data to say one way or the other that is or is no longer the case. It seems, I agree with you, it seems to me that we have seen it less than we used to back in the day, but that might just be me being an old person, be like, yeah, I used to be like this and now it's not. And I don't want to be that guy. Westerly flow still means morning showers along the coast inland later on. Easterly flow still means late day storms. But if we have less moisture to work with or the steering currents have changed a little bit, maybe. But that is, look, it's hard enough for me to get the weather right 7 days out. Trying to go 7 months or 7 years is beyond my abilities. So, say your questions. So Rochelle says I could get a certificate online to officiate. Okay, you know what? That would be rather entertaining. A DPL wedding and officiating at the same time. We're breaking new ground every day, folks, and this is all because of you. So thank you as always. All right, you guys have a great night, and I will see you on tomorrow night's edition of Dennis Phillips Live. And as Jimmy Kimmel often says, apologies to Matt Damon for not being able to be on his show. Apologies to Omar for not being a part of DPL today because, I think he's probably still banned. You guys have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.